Killing Heidi exploded onto the Aussie music scene just before the turn of the millennium with their debut album Reflector and, in particular, their smash hit single Weir and, to a lesser extent, their second single Mascara, with both songs managing to hold the airwaves hostage around the country for a while there. After a rapid 3-album run over the span of 4 years with varying degrees of commercial success, the band disappeared as quickly as they had came. How did Killing Heidi get their start? What caused them to break up? And what are they up to now in 2025? Stay a while as I take you through the rise and fall of Killing Heidi. Before Killing Heidi released a multi-platinum album, the band started off in 1996 as an acoustic folk duo comprised of siblings 13-year-old Ella Hooper on vocals and 15-year-old Jesse Hooper on lead guitar. The duo had grown up in Violet Town in Victoria, which had a tiny population of just over 1,000 people as of 2011. After the duo had been jamming together for a while, they performed one of their first live shows at the Violet Town Arts Festival. Ella was just 13 and Jesse was 15 at the time. The duo had come up with their name by combining words from two separate lists, with one list containing soft words like Heidi and another list of harsh words including killing. The name was originally chosen to fill in the name field on Triple J's unearthed entry form. Jamie Durant from Bent Records saw their live set and offered them recording time at his studio. The Hooper siblings decided they wanted to play as a band, so they recruited Aaron Hart on drums and Rowan Murphy on bass, both of which were schoolmates. With the lineup complete, Killing Heidi recorded the tracks Morning and Kettle. These songs appeared on a Bent Records sampler album, Too Bent, alongside contributions from other artists on the label such as Spud Gun, Stealth, and Michael Meeking. The band also entered their songs into Triple J's Unearthed competition in '96. Kettle won the Goulburn Valley Regional section in a live broadcast hosted by Jane Gazzo, alongside a track by Stealth. The song, co-written by Ella, Jesse and Brian Walton, was later re-recorded at ABC's Southbank Studios for inclusion on Triple J Unearthed 4. After their win, Kettle received heavy airplay on Triple J, another big break for the band, which goes to show how truly influential Triple J were back in the day for up-and-coming talented bands. Producer and engineer Paul Koski, who had previously worked with Crowded House and Rage Against the Machine, heard Kettle on the radio and decided to see the band live. Although Koski felt the rhythm section lacked strength, he saw potential in Ella and Jesse's raw talent, believing it could have broad international appeal. '96 wasn't done with the band yet, with Killing Heidi performing at the Pushover Festival in Melbourne. In '97, the band signed to Koski's management company and the following year to his new record label, Wah Wah Music. Koski spent 2 years developing the band and secured a distribution deal for Wah Wah with Roadshow Music, which also worked with Savage Garden. By the end of '97, Killing Heidi had removed Hart and Murphy, with Warren Jenkin on bass and Adam Pedretti on drums. Throughout '98 and '99, Killing Heidi recorded their debut studio album, Reflector. Koski played a massive part in shaping the album's sound. He was deeply involved in its production, serving as their engineer, producer, manager, and label co-owner. The band issued the first single off of the upcoming album, Weir, in May of '99, which eventually reached number 6 on the ARIA singles chart, going platinum. Weir was absolutely enormous in the late '90s and early 2000s. When I think of Aussie music during my childhood, this is one of those songs that I'll probably never forget. Not because I'm particularly fond of Killing Heidi, but instead for how much they were played across the media landscape at the time. In July of '99, Killing Heidi played at the Grounded Festival. The band set off on their first national tour shortly after. Mascara was the next single to be unleashed upon the public in October of the same year, also going platinum and charting at number 3. March of 2000 arrives. Killing Heidi released Reflector under the Wah Wah label, with Koski handling production. To say the album was commercially successful is an understatement. Reflector charted at number 1 at home and went quadruple platinum with more than 280,000 units sold. This was the fastest selling Australian album of all time when it launched. The album also took out 4 ARIA awards for Album of the Year, Best Group, Breakthrough Artist, and Best Rock Album. There's a lot of solid rock songs here, with a lot of other elements mixed in as well, including keyboards, cello, and violin to break it up and keep things interesting. This is just my opinion, but I think Mascara would have been better off without all the reverb on the vocals. There's also too much keyboard and synth work for my liking. Weir is far better for stripping out most of those elements, leaning on the strengths of the vocals and the guitar arrangements. Despite what some people might think about the band, Reflector was one of the biggest albums of the early 2000s. The drip feeding of singles off of the album continued into April with Live Without It, which charted at number 5, followed by Superman Supergirl in September, which charted at 57. The band set off on a supporting tour through 2000, with a few shows played over in the States in 2001, which was around the same time that Reflector released in the country. Like many of their countrymen, the band struggled to break into the US market. By mid-2001, the band's good fortune hit a major roadblock after a cyst was discovered on Ella's vocal cords, leading to throat surgery later that year. Her recovery was slow, with the experience shattering her confidence in her voice. Hooper would have to wake up early before a show to warm her voice up, advising that if she doesn't do it that way, she sounds like a croaky 80-year-old lady. Despite this major setback, the band marched onwards. In August of 2001, a new partnership was struck between Weir Music and Sony Music Entertainment Australia for future releases for the band. While all of this was going on, the band were hard at work on their follow-up to Reflector. The lead single from the upcoming album, Heaven Sent, released in December of 2001, charting at 28 and going gold by early 2002. The album number 2, Present, was released in October of 2002, reaching number 12 on the charts. Co-produced by Koski, Robinson and Andy Baldwin, the album was released through Weir Music and Sony Music Australia, achieving a gold certification in December for shipping 35,000 units or more. Compared to Reflector's success, the album was a massive commercial flop. Reflecting on that period later on, Ella would go on to recall that the labels and manager would push her to sing. They told her the whole project couldn't stop for a year while she recovered. That much time out was not allowed, career-wise. Despite Ella's better judgment, the band went ahead with the album anyway. None of the songs are as catchy or as memorable as Weir or Mascara, with more than a few songs being straight-up rock, between the interludes and a few softer songs. The album's second single, Outside of Me, was released in September of 2002, charting at number 12. Killing Heidi had failed to capture lightning in a bottle twice. A supporting tour took place with the band touring extensively at home through 2002 and 2003. In 2003, tensions within the group came to a head, resulting in a less than ideal split between Koski and the band, which nearly led to the band's breakup. With so much pressure to recreate the success of Reflector, Present stalled the band's career. The band had begun to resent the extent of Koski's control. Koski believed he became the fall guy for the second album's underwhelming commercial performance. It's interesting because I'm sure Koski was praised for his involvement in the first album's success. After Koski's departure, Chris Robinson purchased Koski's share in the Weir Music partnership and took over as the band's manager. Between touring, the band were busy writing album number 3. By the end of 2003, the band spent 3 months in LA working on recording the next album, which would be self-titled. John Travis produced the album, with Travis previously producing for Kid Rock and Zebrahead. The recording sessions were more efficient and organic this time around, as Travis was easygoing, with faster recording sessions due to recording the instrumentalists playing live and using entire tracks, rather than editing together single recordings. The first single from the upcoming album, I Am, released in July of 2004, charting at number 16, receiving a gold certification. The self-titled album released in August of 2004 under the Columbia label. The album charted at number 7, receiving a gold certification again. A second single, Calm Down, followed in September of 2004, charting at number 23. The production on the album is less raw, and much like the band's second album, not as special as the first album. This was 2 albums in a row now that failed to live up to Reflector. The band toured extensively at home and supported the album through 2004 and 2005. In 2005, Killing Heidi parted ways with Sony BMG. By mid-2006, the band announced over MySpace that they were taking a break from the band, which wasn't officially a breakup. This would indeed turn into the band going on an extended hiatus soon after. Ella and Jesse later mentioned that they needed to grow as people and musicians at the time. The Hooper siblings split off to create a folk duo called The Verses, which released a single album in August of 2010, which charted at 13 and failed to receive a certification. Ella also launched a career as a solo artist, releasing 2 albums over the course of a decade, including gigs as a media personality. Jesse went on to become a music teacher as well as a producer. In an interview in 2013, Ella mentioned that she couldn't see herself reuniting with Killing Heidi, as it would be unnatural to start it up now, given the youthful and youth-based songs couldn't be performed convincingly by her anymore. By September of 2016, the band reunited to celebrate their 20th anniversary by playing a few shows, including multiple festival slots. Pedretti joined the siblings in the reunion, but Jenkins did not, with James Gilligan replacing him. Lena Douglas also joined the band on keyboard to round out the lineup. To continue the band's reunion, 2017 saw an 11-show run across regional Australia. 2018 contained a handful of shows. 2019 saw another tour across Australia, with the band joining the Red Hot Summer Tour in 2020. 2021 was a quiet year with only 2 shows. Killing Heidi joined the Red Hot Summer Tour again in 2022, including slots at other festivals around Australia. Nothing happened in 2023, with another handful of shows in 2024. In June of 2025, the band toured at home to celebrate 25 years of Reflector. The band seemed content to be playing shows here and there at home with no mention of new music on the horizon.
Black mascara smudges your face.
So, what does the internet have to say about Killing Heidi after all these years? Over on the Australian Nostalgia subreddit, users are commenting on a thread about remembering the band, with one user having the following to say. Somehow became successful off the back of 2 songs, one of them being a Roxy Music ripoff, Different Times. Then again, Weir does seem to capture that very specific 2000 alternative yet mainstream sound, which was just radio TV friendly enough to get picked up. Over on one of the Weir music video uploads on YouTube, users have the following to say. I was 16 when this came out, 38 now, and still like to hear it every now and then. Brings back so many good memories, and that's a great song. Always liked it, she has a beautiful voice. Killing Heidi experienced massive success early on in their careers, with Reflector capturing lightning in a bottle that wouldn't be repeated with the following albums Present and self-titled. After 3 albums, the band took an extended 10-year break to grow as people and musicians, reforming in 2016. Despite touring on and off since, there's no signs of new music on the horizon. Despite this, there are still plenty of fairly recent comments online reminiscing about the band and their major hits Weir and Mascara. I think it's pretty safe to say that Killing Heidi fell off hard and fast after Reflector. Thanks for watching.